magazine. I am looking for a font, and it doesn't matter if you don't know, go to recently added fonts, but if you have a style or genre you're looking for, pick on what you're looking for. If you're not sure, I always say click the all new fonts, and then you can get a variety of stuff if you're not really sure where you're headed. But if you have a theme you're set on, go for the themes. This little box is golden. All you have to do is type something in. Happy. And you'll be able to see happy in all those fonts. So once it loads, you'll start seeing happy in all the fonts that are provided for you. Awesome, right? And what's cool is even if now I can keep going through all these pages and randomly happy will appear in all the pages. But in addition to that, if I now I'm starting to see a theme I like, I can go back to my themes, choose a font, and happy still remains in the text. So here are all my happy fonts that I could use for masthead. Remember, you want it to be legible, so something like this is too fancy. But when you find one you like, I'm going to use... I'm getting these yet. Let's go to page 9. When you find one you like, this one tells me it doesn't do my words. When you find one you like, then you're able to download it. And the process for downloading it is very simple. I simply click on the download button. I think I'm going to go for a serif font. Because that looks happy. Download. What's cool is when you download it, it gives you a TTF file. It might be a TTF in a folder. Just hit install fonts. Really interesting font names. But now I have Chuck 5X. That's the font name. So when I go into my Illustrator file, I'm just going to click off my text box so that it can reload. And now click back in. So if you already have T selected, black cursor click off so you can reload your font book since you've just amended it. And now I can go to Chuck 5X, and it does not register it. That's nice. Well, the other font we had there was that one. I like this one too. So I have my font. I'm going to control click and create an outline. The reason I've done this is because now it's no longer a text. I'm able to easily move stuff around as a shape. So what I did, reminder, it used to be text and I'd have to resize the font. I control clicked and I create an outline. And voila, there is my font. Now I could even go one further and ungroup them. Before I do that, I want to talk about the stroke menu, which is on the right-hand side where it says stroke. If you would like a stroke, you increase the weight. What a stroke is, it adds a color around your font. You can choose any color under the sun, but sometimes it's really good for giving an extra pop to your word. And you can even do a really subtle stroke, but that gives it a little subtle pop. Okay. And the reason I did that before and grouping it is so it does it to all those letters in one go. Now, the ungroup feature lets you select all of these guys separately, so I could rearrange the placement. I could also turn a letter if I so wish. I can actually start getting more creative with all the layout, so maybe I want them to come a little bit closer each one and be able to amend each one. So maybe this is over here, over here, but my piece is super happy, so he's like jumping up. He's happy. In addition to that, I got all these nodes on my letters. So when I grab my white cursor, I can actually select the individual nodes. So first click selects the letter, second click selects the node. That's when you move, on the second click, not on the first click. But you're able to start amending your graphic fully now. So you can actually, maybe I wanted this guy to go across the whole thing, and it looks a little silly until it's actually done. Once it's done, it starts looking cool. So I'm able to actually amend this so happy brings the whole thing together because he is oh so happy. right? And it starts creating a separate look for the font, and I'm able to then better move, black cursor, better move stuff around. So how I did that was white cursor. Second click is when you actually start moving it. First click, no moving. But on the second click, you're able to move and readjust the nodes of your words. And it starts creating this unified shape. After that, I can even further edit by selecting them and using a style. For some reason, there's two stylized menus under Effect. I'm referring to the first one. And once you select any of these, you hit Preview because you want to see what you're doing. Now, it might look like a lot of contrast on a white background, but remember your picture is going to be busy in the background. So you're able to have that extra little pop sometimes is actually really helpful. But I always work with Preview on because I don't know how it's going to look until I actually have it set up. And what's cool too is black is not happy. Yellow is definitely happy. So I can have yellow pop. Doesn't look like much on white, but if I have a picture of a person behind it, it'll look like a big contrast. So that's one way to further edit your masthead. When you're done, you're going to save a copy of an Illustrator file to your magazine folder. I'm not at school, so I don't have a magazine folder, but I'm just going to call this the masthead. And then I'm going to do the same thing after I save the Illustrator. I'm going to export my file. The reason we save the Illustrator file is in case we have to go in and export it, but for this one, PNG will also let you have a see-through copy that's transparent, but you make sure that 300 selected. This is going to be pixelated when it prints. This won't. So make sure you have that high 300 transparent, and you're good to go. So that's how you create your masthead. In the next video, I will show you.